Today's Murli, sweet children, stay in accurate remembrance of the Father, and your faces will remain constantly sparkling and happy. Accurate remembrance is basically, uh, like Baba says, hardly anyone knows me as I am and who I am. So the more you know Baba, the more easier the remembrance becomes, more natural the remembrance becomes. The more you know someone, the more you can remember the person as they are and who they are. So accurate remembrance requires knowledge, mastery of Murli. That's how you come to know Baba. Then you don't need to fix a timetable schedule. There's no schedule that I'm going to remember him at this time, because when you remember somebody and your heart is pulled towards somebody, you're not, it's not a planned timing when you're going to remember. That remembrance is there all the time, or it just happens, right? Whenever you wish. It's not something that you have to pre-plan anything. And that's why also the Baba says it should become your hobby, your interest, to remember Baba so much that don't have any other interest other than that hobby. Whether call it habit, hobby, it should become so firm because your heart is so attached to that you don't have interest in anything else. And that can take a while to really know Baba and to forge all relationships with him. Question: what is the way to sit in remembrance, and what are the benefits of it? So what is the way to sit in remembrance? So not physically sit in remembrance. What is the method to connect your intellect's yoga with Baba, and what are the benefits of it?
When you sit, you shouldn't sit with distractions of body consciousness. You should sit in soul consciousness.
Mhm. So remove all distractions from the mind, from the intellect. Don't let your intellect not go to your attachments, your business, whatever that pulls you. So when you sit in remembrance, remove all the complications of your business, etc., from your intellect, and consider yourself to be a soul. Don't think about your work, what you have to do, what you have to do throughout the day. That's not remembrance. Leave all that aside and just sit in Baba's remembrance. So that is faith and trust that everything that you're worrying about, there's no need to worry about it because you can't do anything about it at that time, anyways. If you sit in Baba's remembrance, at least you will get some touching clarity of something that you are wanting an answer that'll come to you. But if you think about that issue a lot, problem, it's just going to complicate the matter even more. So the body and bodily relations are a big web. And what does Baba say? To with the big web, it's a big web of Maya. Yeah, in Hindi it's called Maya Jal. Internet literally means Jal, right? Internet, net is a big web. You get easily caught up in the big web. Yes? And we have a huge web of Maya from Copper Age, and just that web is growing and growing with every birth. Now you have such a huge web and you're caught up in that web. So what does Baba say to do with that web? Should you swallow it? You have to swallow that web and go beyond consciousness. And that doesn't take years and years and decades to do that. You swallow it at one go and you're done with it. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to ruminate, dwell on it. Just swallow the web and just sit in soul consciousness. Easy thing. This means that when you die, the world is dead for you. So you have to die to the world. World is not going to die for you. You have to die from the world. When you die alive, you forget everything while alive, and you only remember the one Father. This is the bodiless stage. It is through this that the rust on the soul will be removed. Song, O traveler of the night, do not become weary. The destination of dawn is not far off. Om Shanti. You children are sitting on the pilgrimage of remembrance. This is also called conducted meditation or sitting in silence. So you have to be self-disciplined to conduct your own meditation. So when you sit on this pilgrimage of remembrance, you already know it's a long journey right to the end. So in that journey, you have to be self-controlled and sit in your own self-disciplined meditation. You're not just sitting in silence, you're also, so just sitting in silence is not enough to absolve sins. Sitting in silence, a lot of meditators sit in silence. But the important thing is when sitting in silence, that is important. The first, you do have to quiet your mind, but then you don't stop there. Because if you just stop there, just sit in silence, like Baba says, like you're just blanking your mind. And blanking your mind is not yoga. The yoga, the intellect, it needs to be connected. So once you sit in silence, you clear all the waste from your mind, clutter from your mind, then you have to remember Baba. So after sitting in silence, you do have to engage your intellect in remembering Baba. So you're also doing something, means you have to actively engage your intellect in remembrance of Baba. Intellect has to do the work. You're stable in your original religion, but you are also on a pilgrimage. And that pilgrimage is of remembrance. Without remembering Baba, there's no absolution of sins. The Father who teaches you this pilgrimage also takes you back home with him. Those are worldly Brahmins who take you with them. You are spiritual Brahmins. It is said the clan or caste of Brahmins. You children are now sitting on the pilgrimage of remembrance. Those sitting in other spiritual gatherings would be remembering their gurus. The guru would come and give a lecture. That is all the path of devotion. This is the pilgrimage of remembrance through which sins are absolved. You sit in remembrance to have the rest removed. So you sit with this very specific, very concentrated goal of absolving the sins through remembrance of Baba. The Father's direction is the rest will be removed by having remembrance of me, because I alone am the purifier. It isn't that I come because of someone's remembrance. So he's not pulled by anyone's remembrance. He comes so that we can engage our intellect to him through the subtle, through the subtle region. That's where he is. And when we create those pure thoughts and feelings, we are able to connect with him. My coming is fixed in the drama. It is when this impure world has to change and become a pure world. He comes and once again establishes through Brahma the original eternal deity religion that had disappeared. It is of this Brahma that it is said Brahma becomes Vishnu in a second. So that applies to all of us. We as Brahmins become our highest, the most best deity self, higher angelic self, in a second, because it's just a second's realization that makes you that. Years and years of effort and practice, and 1 second of realization that transforms. It then takes 5,000 years for Vishnu to become Brahma, 5,000 years to come down the ladder. These matters have to be understood with your intellects. You who were Shudras have now come into this Brahmin clan. When you become Brahmins, Shiv Baba teaches you through Brahma this pilgrimage of remembrance to remove the alloy. You have now understood how the cycle of creation turns. This doesn't take time. It is now truly the Iron Age. Those people say it is now simply the beginning of the Iron Age, whereas the Father tells you that it is now the end of the Iron Age. So, huge difference between what the world tells you, what the scripture tells you, and what Baba is saying. There is extreme darkness. The Father says, I explained to you the essence of all the Vedas and scriptures. When you children sit here in the morning, you have to sit in remembrance. Otherwise, storms of Maya come and your intellects are diverted to your business, etc. All of those complications are external. So the more the intellect is pulled somewhere else or anywhere else, the more complication there will be, more you're going to get caught in that web. Because once you start, you can't stop the flow of thoughts and just goes into further and further expansion. So then a spider creates such a big web. All of those complications are external. A spider creates such a big web. It then swallows it by itself. There are so many complications of the body. Paternal uncle, maternal uncle, gurus, etc. Bigger the family is, more room for attachment, more room for intellect to get caught in one relative or another. You just have to become a bodiless soul alone. When a person sheds his body, he forgets everything. When you die, the world is dead for you. Your intellects have the knowledge that this world is to be destroyed. The Father explains, those who are unable to open their mouths, means able to give knowledge, share knowledge, can just stay in remembrance. Just as this one, Brahma Baba, remembers the Father. A wife remembers her husband because she is told, your husband is your God, your Guru. That is why she removes her intellect from her father and diverts it to her husband. That one, Baba, that one is the husband of all husbands. He is the bridegroom. All of you are brides and you worship the one God. All devotees are under surveillance. Are under surveillance. That's an interesting word. They are under surveillance by whom?
Ravan.
So he's your jailer. All devotees are under surveillance by Ravan and in his jail. Therefore, the Father definitely feels mercy. The Father is merciful. He is called the Merciful One. At this time, there are many types of guru. Anyone who gives some teachings or guidance is called a guru. Here, the Father is teaching you Raja Yoga in a practical way. And there's no escape from the jailer, Ravan, except Baba who bails you out. So then he says he's the lawyer, supreme judge who bails you out of Ravan's jail. No guru, no human being can bail you out of the jail and free you from jail. No one except the Supreme Soul knows how to teach this Raja Yoga. The Supreme Soul came and taught Raja Yoga. What happened after that? No one knows. They give many examples from the Gita. Even little girls recite the Gita, and so they are praised a little. The Gita has now disappeared. There is a lot of praise of the Gita. The Father rejuvenates the whole world with this knowledge of the Gita. He makes you bodies eternal, like your bodies become eternal, like the tree of life, the Kalpa tree. He makes bodies immortal. You children have to stay in remembrance of the Father. You do not invoke the Father, you stay in remembrance of the Father and make progress. You should be interested in following the Father's directions. And you follow Father's directions when you're in accurate remembrance of Baba. And Father's directions are, I will eat my meal in remembrance of Shiv Baba alone. That means I'm eating with Shiv Baba. You can find some time to do this even at work. You definitely do eat at work. So all you have to do is eat in Baba's remembrance. And the more you perform any task in Baba's remembrance, and eating meals is a very simple method of remembering Baba. And that goes a long way. Some write to Baba, when I sit in my chair, I sit down for remembrance. Therefore, when an officer comes, he sees that while sitting, you have disappeared, that you have become bodiless. Some people's eyes remain open, and some other people's eyes close. Some sit like this and they don't see anything, as though they are completely lost. It happens like this in some cases. Baba just pulls the string and he sits in pleasure. Someone would ask, what happened to you? He would say, I was just sitting in remembrance of the Father. Your intellects are aware that you have to go to Baba. The Father says, by becoming soul conscious, you will come to me. No one can go there without becoming pure. No one can go to the soul world without becoming pure. How can you become pure? Only the Father can show you the way. Human beings cannot tell you this. When you understand even a little, you will be able to benefit others. You definitely have to make effort to benefit others and give them the Father's introduction. On the path of devotion, people remember the Father and say, O God the Father. God the Father, have mercy. It is as though calling out has become
Ritual?
a habit. So just say the words, and it's just like just lip service, but there's no feeling in the heart. There's no true remembrance. You're not even thinking of really, truly, honestly absolving any sins. It's just calling out because that's become your habit. The Father is making you children benevolent like Himself. Maya has made everyone so senseless. When a physical father sees that his child's behavior is not good, he would tell the child that he is senseless, Buddhu, that he would squander all his father's property in a year. So the unlimited Father also says, look what I made you into, and now look at your behavior. So we squandered all the wealth Baba gave us, all our spiritual treasures, all our physical wealth, everything. We wasted, and now we become totally poor, spiritually stripped, poverty, and that also manifests in a physical wealth. You children now understand how wonderful this play is. Bharat has such a downfall. It is the downfall of the people of Bharat. They don't consider themselves to have become degraded, iron-aged, or tamo-pradhan. When Bharat was heaven, the people there were residents of heaven. Those same human beings are now residents of hell. So the first ones to become deities are the first ones to also degrade and become residents of hell, devils. That's why the memorial of fallen angels. No one has this knowledge. Even this Baba didn't know it. Now there's a sparkle in the intellect. While taking 84 births, we definitely have to descend the ladder. There's no margin in ascending. So while coming down the ladder, right from Golden Age, right to the end of Iron Age, there is no margin, no opportunity to go up. It doesn't matter how much charity you perform, how much service you do, how much donations you make, how much good karma you do, you're still coming down, you're still descending. There's no way to climb up until the confluence age, until Baba shows up. While coming down, you had to become impure. This matter is not in anyone's intellect. The Father has explained to you, children. You now have to explain to the people of Bharat. And what you have to explain to them? You were residents of heaven and have now become residents of hell. You have taken 84 births. People believe in rebirth, so they definitely have to come down. The Father has also explained how many rebirths you have taken. Now you feel that you were pure deities and that Ravan then made you impure. The Father has to come to teach you in order to change you from Shudras into deities. People call the Father the liberator and the guide, but they don't understand the meaning of that. The time will now very soon come when everyone will understand this and will see what you have become from what you were. Look at how this drama is created. None of you even dreamt that you would become like Lakshmi and Narayan. You never dreamt that God's going to come into your life and make you gods and goddesses, small g, gods and goddesses. You never thought that would ever be your destiny, that you ever wanted to become a god or god. It was even possible to become god or goddess. Only God can make you who He is. Of course, you can't be Him, but the best version of Him, closest to Him, God and goddess. The Father brings back so many memories for you. If you now want to claim your inheritance from the Father, follow Srimad. Practice staying on the pilgrimage of remembrance. You know that when Christian priests go for a walk, they walk in such a deep silence. They stay in remembrance of Christ. They love Christ. You spiritual guides have loving intellects for the supremely beloved Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. You children know that the kingdom will definitely be established according to the efforts you make, number-wise to follow Srimad, exactly as it was in the previous cycle. The Father gives you very good directions. In spite of that, there are sometimes such bad omens that you don't follow Srimad at all. And that can only happen when the intellect is not in remembrance, an accurate remembrance of Baba. Otherwise, following directions, Baba's Srimad, would be very easy. You would do whatever it takes to follow Baba's Srimad. You know that it is only by your following Srimad that there is victory. Only by having faith can you have victory. The Father says, follow my directions. Why do you think that it is Brahma who is giving directions? Or your instrument or any human being giving instructions? Yeah, it is through human being you receive instructions, but the faith should be behind that instrument is Baba giving you directions. Doesn't matter if you like the directions or not, always consider Shiv Baba giving those directions. And whatever the flaw is in that human being and that Brahmin soul, Baba says he will take care of it. He's responsible for that. So when that faith is missing, lacking, you think it's the human being who's giving you directions. And that's what creates the conflict. That what creates the doubt. Always consider it to be Shiv Baba who is advising you. This one would only give you directions for service. Some ask, Baba, should I do this business? Baba doesn't give directions for such things. Should I buy this building? Should I get my children married?
Should I buy GIC?
Should I take this examination? Will I pass this exam? Yeah? Baba's not here to sort out all the worldly affairs. That's not what he came for. The Father says, I have come to show you the way to make the impure pure, not those things. So go to the doctor if you're not well. Go to astrologer if you want to know your future.
What's the
Go to your guru if you want blessings.
What's the fundamental difference between what God does and what humans want God to do? Humans want God to fix their physical problems in their physical lives. God says, I come to purify you, and with purification, you will find the strength that's already inside of you to fix your problems. It's very easy to understand. Otherwise, think 8.5 billion people's problems. Individually, he's going to fix them all.
That's what we wanted in devotion.
So the devotion is you do that because you're weak. You do that because you don't have connection to God. You do devotion and it makes you weaker. God doesn't support or facilitate any of that.
And we didn't get that from God in devotion, so we sulked. We got angry and we insulted God. You call out to me, O purifier, come and purify us. Therefore, I show you the way. It is very easy. Your name is the incognito army. People have then shown weapons and arrows, etc. However, there is no question of those arrows in this.
So you can understand it's only your state of ego that makes you think God didn't help me. I wanted this, I asked him for this, it didn't happen, so why God didn't help me? What do I need God for? And yet when we get success at overcoming an obstacle, we say, thanks, Baba. Had you not given me purity, had you not given me knowledge, had you not given me virtues, I wouldn't have been able to overcome that. So really, it's because of you I could overcome that obstacle. Right? It's just difference of ego versus humility, body consciousness versus soul consciousness.
Low self-esteem versus self-respect. All of that is of the path of devotion. The Father comes and shows you this true path through which you go to the land of truth for half a cycle. There are no other lands there. When you explain this to others, they don't believe you and ask how there could only have been Bharat. 3,000 years before Christ, Bharat was heaven. There were no other religions at that time.
I mean, faith is Baba will help. That's faith. If you have faith, then you just know Baba will help. But faith is also my karmas will help. Faith is also my good relationships will come back to me and help. Faith is my remembrance will help. And then faith is even if the help doesn't come and I meant to even leave my body, but that's okay because Baba needs me somewhere else. You understand? Either way, your mind is always stable.
Then the tree continued to grow. It is just that you have forgotten your father, your religion, dharma, and your karma. If you considered yourselves to be those of the deity religion, you wouldn't eat dirty things.
Dharma is religion, karma is action. So you become corrupt in your religion, and therefore that corrupts your actions.
And then you wouldn't eat dirty things. So what Baba considers dirty things, obviously, any kind of meat eating or certain foods that are considered impure, onion, garlic.
Cigarettes, tobacco, alcohol. Vaping is obviously not included. What else do they do today? Drugs.
Marijuana.
A lot of people do marijuana. Oh, it's legal now, so Baba must be okay with it. No. Anything that alters your consciousness is not okay with Baba. Right?
Food cooked in Baba's remembrance.
And that's just that level. He still says everything is Tamil Pradhan. Why? Because the big 7 agribusinesses have completely put poison into the food.
Yeah.
Right? Poison into the soil. Well, so how can anybody get any pure food now?
Yeah, cooked, offered to Baba, and eaten in Baba's remembrance. That is considered sattvic food, pure food.
It's just way less karma if you eat. What is that food they call it? Ultra processed food. It's impure. It's just way less pure than eating meat. Killing your food is very big, serious karma. Yes, eggs also.
However, you did eat them because you didn't have those virtues. That is why you call yourselves Hindus. Otherwise, you should be ashamed that your ancestors were so pure, that you have become so impure, and that you have also forgotten your own religion. You now understand the beginning, the middle, and the end of this drama very clearly. And from what we used to eat in the Golden Age as deities, just fruits and flowers, it's a true plant-based diet. Yeah? Hardly any cooking, it was very little solar cooking. Right? To where we are today, it's a day and night difference. If anything happens, you can say that Baba has not yet explained those points to you. That's all. Don't try to wing your way and fake it and try to say something that's not true. If Baba has not taken up that topic, that there's a reason, then simply say Baba has not explained that. We are still studying. If we were to know everything now, destruction would take place, but no, there is still a margin.
And knowing's not enough. You have to inculcate everything. So even when you know everything, destruction won't take place. It's the power of your purity that brings about destruction.
We are still studying. At the end, we will become completely pure. The rust will continue to be removed, and you will become Satopradhan, number-wise, according to the efforts you make. You can see that this impure world is to be destroyed. Nowadays, people say that God has definitely come somewhere, but that he is incognito. This is truly the time for destruction. Only the Father is the liberator and the guide who will take everyone back home. Everyone will die like a swarm of mosquitoes. You also understand that not everyone sits in remembrance to the same extent. Some have accurate yoga, some have yoga for half an hour, and others for 15 minutes. So there's the length of time difference, but there's also the quality of yoga, which is more important. Some don't stay in remembrance for even a minute. Those who say that they stay in remembrance all the time should have very happy and sparkling faces. So proof of accurate yoga is staying in accurate remembrance of Baba is that you should have a happy and sparkling face. Such children should have super sensuous joy. Their intellects won't wander anywhere. They would be feeling happy. Their intellects would say, let me stay in remembrance of the one beloved. This habit would then be instilled. You become ever healthy and ever wealthy through this pilgrimage of remembrance. You must also remember the cycle. The only effort is to stay in remembrance. The cycle also turns around in your intellects. You are now becoming master seeds. Together with having remembrance, also split the discus of self-realization. You people of Bharat are lighthouses. You are spiritual lighthouses who show everyone the path home. That too has to be explained.
And both are needed. Remembrance purifies your feelings and your pain and your sorrow. And knowledge, churning the knowledge, Swadarsan Chakradhari, understanding beginning, middle, and end, purifies your intellect and tells you how to make decisions to stop incurring more sorrow and how to make decisions to deal with your sorrow.
You show the path to liberation and liberation in life, and this is how you are spiritual lighthouses. Your discus of self-realization continues to turn. If you want to write the name, you also have to explain it. Baba continues to explain to you. You are personally sitting in front of him. The reign of knowledge is for those who are personally with the beloved. The greatest pleasure is in listening to Baba face to face. Second is listening. The tapes. So the second is listening to the tape. Third is the Murli. Shiv Baba explains everything through Brahma. This Brahma also knows. Nevertheless, you should only consider it to be Shiv Baba who says everything. When you don't think this, there is a lot of disobedience. Whatever Shiv Baba says, it is of benefit. Even if there appears to be a loss, that too will change into a benefit. You should always have that faith that whatever instructions, directions are given through Brahma, it is really Shiv Baba who's giving the directions, or any instrument that's giving directions, it's really Shiv Baba giving those directions.
Yep.
Acha, to you sweetest beloved,
For the
long
code
lost
down.
and now found children. Love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, Bab Dada. The spiritual father says namaste to you spiritual children, and
And the spiritual
The spiritual children say namaste to the spiritual father.
SS for dharana number 1. Follow every direction of the Father and make progress. Have true love for the one Father. Prepare and eat food in remembrance of the Father. Very important part of your journey to purity. Number 2, become a spiritual lighthouse and show everyone the path to liberation and liberation in life. You must definitely benefit others like the Father does. Blessing, may you become free from all types of distress and make every action you perform royal by remaining stable in your godly pride.
Pure pride is self-respect. Impure pride is arrogance and greed, vices, selfishness, dishonest.
Constantly maintain this godly pride. I am the light of Bab Dada's eyes. Nothing else can enter my eyes or vision.
So naturally, the ego will manipulate you by making you think you're in pure pride when you're really an ego.
But visualize this. It's very sweet. I am the light of Bab Dada's eyes. Nothing else can enter my eyes or vision. By your maintaining this pride, all different types of distress will automatically finish, and no type of complaints will remain. The more you remain stable in your highest pride, the more you will automatically receive respect, and every action you perform will be royal. Slogan, a trustee is one who hands over everything to the Father. Mind, intellect, thoughts. Om Shanti. And today's Avya signal on virtue, sweetness, and humility. Let there be the newness of sweetness, contentment, and easiness in every word you speak. Words spoken by Brahmin souls must not be ordinary. This is greatness and newness. Continue to sweeten the mouth of others with sweet words, sweet sanskars, and a sweet nature. With the blessing, may you be constantly tireless and sweet. Continue to move forward and fly. Om Shanti.